Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
see you in Power Partners.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing fabulous, wonderful, excited, just everything. Just
It's kind of one of those days. Welcome to the Time to Shine Happiness Show. It's like
time to shine.
Exactly. It's your time to shine. So I'm going to tell on myself.
Well, you always do. So let's just.
I know. It's like, this is the things these are the things that make life fun. I have my girlfriend Carol. Well, you know Carol, that she's been on our show. Okay, So we have scheduled a work time because we do several things together. So we have a work time at 7 o'clock on Tuesday mornings. Okay. So this morning we were working on it because we're launching our YouTube channel. It's going to be so fun. So this morning we were working, of course, in our favorite thing to do, of course, ever is Canva. Canva, if you don't have Canva, it is so fun.
It's a good tool.
It's a great tool. And so we were working in Canva, putting our and what we were going to say, and all of a sudden I went, Carol, have 8 o'clock. I've got to go. And then, of course, my green screen wouldn't go up. So that's hence my
I was wondering.
That way back when before I had my green screen and all that. And I just said, you know what? I'm all about ease and flow. And it's like, oh, well, ease and flow. So I just put up my background, and this is so this is us going retro from when we first started.
Retro. Yeah, hey, retro never goes out of style.
And retro never goes out of style. So, speaking of retro, guess what today is?
Well, I know. See, I always wait for your Tuesdays of what day it is. So, what's today and what's the history of it?
Today is St. Nicholas Day.
Oh, now you definitely got to give me some. We got to get some background for that.
St. Nicholas Day.
St. Nicholas
Day. The thing is, he was a Catholic Church bishop.
Okay.
He was born in 270 AD.
Okay, that's way back.
So that's way back.
I don't even know if that's retro. I think that's just
ancient.
Yeah.
The thing is, he lived to be 73.
Okay.
Which back then,
it wasn't popular.
That was not the norm. But what he was known for was his gifts of charity and working with the sick and working with the poor and giving people anonymous gifts and doing fun things and leaving little pieces of treasure in their shoes or their stockings. Okay. So who do you think he's the inspiration for?
I was about to guess, and I think I have a good guess of this.
Guess.
Is that where Santa Claus came from?
He is where Santa Claus came from. The inspiration, because back then, traditionally, families left their shoes by the fire to dry because, especially in the wintertime and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, one of the legends around him was that, back in the day, back then,
ancient, yeah.
Yeah, if a man had daughters and he couldn't do a dowry for them, I mean, their chances of getting married were like, it increased their chances of getting married if the father had a dowry.
Okay.
To entice
the men,
like a prospective suitors. Anyways, well, the legend has it that there was this one guy that he had 3 daughters and no dowry for any of them.
Oh, wow.
So he made it known that, what am I going to do? And
technology is our friend, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to do this.
Having a piece.
She's back. There we go.
All right. Each daughter got a gold piece in a shoe. So the day was saved. They all 3 of them got married because that St. Nicholas was famous for just finding people of need and doing it anonymously, and that's how he did it.
I like the history. I would never, all these years I've been on this earth, we know about Santa Claus, and most we always do, but I never understood where kind of the legend, where it kind of came from.
Right. And why he was called Saint Nick.
Yeah. So this is my question.
Yeah. Sure.
And I might be starting some things here. So if it's on today, this is December 6th. This is Saint Nick Day.
Right.
So why is Christmas the 25th if Saint Nick is on the 6th?
Okay, well, he was the inspiration. He was just kind of the inspiration for it. This is the anniversary of when he actually died, because he's a real person. Okay. He was a real person.
Okay.
He died on this day in 343. Mm-hmm. And he was born in Turkey, and his tomb is in Myra, Turkey. And people can go and they make they take homage, and they take journeys to his site. So because he was a real person, but it was those kinds of things that inspired
the gifts,
our modern day Santa Claus. But where the Santa Claus came from was like a Dutch thing, of where that name and it morphed out of that more into like toys and presents for kids and all of that kind of stuff.
And the elves and all that kind of stuff.
And the elves, and you're right, and I think it's really, when you think about it, it's a conglomeration of all sorts of things. It's like when you go into Ireland and they talk about the fairies, and and you either believe in fairies or you don't. Once in a while, I'm like, you know what? We have no clue of what's in the spirit realm. the other dimensions, you know, and I don't want to get woo-woo, but
I think we went there. But
are there other dimensions? I've always thought that there was other dimensions of time.
I hear people say that too. Yeah.
Just because there were times in my life where I knew something, and how did I know that?
Like almost like a deja vu, because
like
I know
deja vu. I've done this before.
Yes, or I've seen this before, or I've seen this. Yeah, this is really familiar.
Just know it in your being that I've done this before, and yet you know, or I've been here before.
Yeah, or somebody says something that's like, wait a minute, I heard that.
We've already had that conversation. Well, no, we haven't. You know, and so just I've always believed that there was other dimensions of time, but we don't want to get crazy either. But you know what?
But it happens. The deja vu happens. I think everybody has that, but some people just don't admit it.
Yeah, I truly believe that deja vu happens. The thing is what came to mind for me today with it is that he, you know, like St. Nicholas was known for giving gifts.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We are all given a gift.
Yes.
Within us.
Yes.
And I've been listening to whole bunches of teachings on gifts and talents and how people are using them or not using them. Because so often what has happened, and this is one of the things that because I work with baby boomers who don't know who they are outside of their job title, and let's get you back to being happy and within who you are. So often people, they go to college, they pick a major, they pick a career, and they fit themselves into that, into that career, that job, that person that they think they need to be. And now we've got a whole generation of people that are coming up, the baby boomers, that have realized that they hate their life.
Well, you know, it kind of went a little bit into some of the Gen X people, because I'm the Gen. I barely hit from baby boomers to Gen X.
Gen X.
And I know I was taught by my parents, especially my mother. My mother was
get a job, work hard, get a job,
work hard, get your pension, get what you need to get. And then, I mean, that's what makes it. She was like, "This is how life goes," you know.
Right.
And I'll never forget when, and God rest her soul in heaven right now. Right. But I'll never forget when I turned 40, and I was like, you know, I'm not really liking this anymore. You know, it was like, I mean, I'm in this insurance forever. It seemed like I'm not liking this. My mother looked at me. She said, "You're late," and I was like, "Late for what?" She said, "That's it. You picked it. You're in this. You can't change now because you know, she told me, Barbara, you're getting too old. No one's not going to be thinking of you. You need to stay where you're at."
Yeah, so exactly.
And all that. So I was like, wow, I'm so glad. I love her dearly. Yes, I do. But I'm so glad that I didn't listen because I needed to change. I needed to,
Exactly. And that's like, you know, like one of my sister, after David died, you know, we were talking about, you know, just, you know, do I want to get married again, or do I want to, you know, all those kinds of things. And for the longest time, it was like, no, I'm quite happy on my own. I'm building up my business. And then of course it was like, well, Barbara, you know, men aren't going to want to date you because you know, they don't want a woman that's building a business, you know, because I remember I was kind of brought up that nice girls don't build businesses. Nice girls are wives and mothers. And so that was just, and it wasn't that it was said, it was just
a known.
It was just a known. That was just I have to think of what the actual word is. It was just the feeling. It was just that you're expected. It was just the expectation. It's like people that are in a family business. You're just expected to go into the family business, whether you are gifted with it or not. You know, and so that was kind of the thing.
Wow.
But then I finally realized one day when I woke up and went, you know what? the right man, the right man out there is going to love me because I have a business.
Yes.
Because I'm my own person, and because I am using my gifts and talents to make a difference in the world.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, and look at this show. This show has now been on 2.5 years.
A little while, Bar, we were saying 3.
It's going to be saying 3. And you know what? That says something, that we have an audience and that we have people that love our show and that people are sharing our show. And because this is something that is our gift to out there of bringing on great guests, even when and even if we don't bring a guest, it's like you and I, we have similar things, that this is your time to shine.
Yes.
This is your time. And it doesn't matter how old you are.
Nope.
Age is a number on the calendar.
Yes. Don't stop.
Age is a number on the calendar. Do not stop. I mean, it's like, it's be crazy. You're never too old to do anything.
No, never. Don't, because I look at people. I love when people put videos and pictures up about people that are like, in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and that's been like either on track or, just living the life. And I'm like, thank you for showing that. Right. To prove to the fact that just because age is a number, but a number, you could do what you want to do. Or I know this one lady I met in a network, and she just turned 92. Mm-hmm. She just started, she has her 3rd book that she wrote.
Right.
In the last 4 years, she said. And the new one just came out like 6 months ago. Yeah. 92 years old.
Right.
92. Exactly. Another lady, 86 years old, she just got her doctorate. I mean, there's no limits. It's sky's the limit. Sky is the limit.
And especially now you can go to college on Zoom.
Yeah. So
you can take courses on Zoom. Like right at this moment, I'm taking a little course on LinkedIn on how to optimize my LinkedIn, because I want to do business with people who are in business. How to optimize it. It's like, well, okay, fine. She's this girl, Laura, give her a shout out, Laura Barker. And she's in WPN. And she's a LinkedIn expert. Well, so now she's created a course for those of us who are not.
See?
How to optimize, and some things that I've already learned from her. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's making a difference, because we can't know everything, but we can learn anything.
Yes.
That's the key. We don't have to know everything, but we can learn anything.
Yes.
If you are supposed to learn it. I'm going to tell myself, of course. One day, I think I've mentioned this because I was so frustrated that I was trying to do some techie thing. And I finally went, what is wrong with you, Barbara, that you can't learn this? Well, it wasn't something that I was supposed to learn. And that's a key too. If you're being forced into learning something that you're not aptitude at, just say, hey, this isn't for me. Because you're struggling and you're burning yourself out. You're going into overwhelm because you're trying to do something that you are not gifted to do. If you want to learn it, like right now, I am thoroughly enjoying learning how to do the little things on LinkedIn. I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. When it stops being fun, key there, learning point today, people. If it is not fun, stop doing it.
Yeah, because when it comes more like a chore than you having nice time with it, then something. So you ask yourself the question: should I really be doing it? And that's with anything, even in your business.
Right.
I mean, I came to a point in time, Barbara, that there was one thing, part of my business that I was a product. It was a service I was giving. And it was at the beginning, it was like, oh, okay, let me get into this. I like this as part of whatever. Then all of a sudden it started getting to be like more of a job.
Right.
And a chore. And it was like, oh, I was dreading even doing it. And I was like, no, something's wrong. I had to stop it. I had to take it out. Yep. It wasn't a product no more. It was like,
and then of course you get the willy-nilly people that are like, but how could you do that? It was a source of income.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be my source of income.
You know, that's why it's called creativity.
That's
you can
why it's
create
called
other things. It doesn't always have to set on that. Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, Barbara. It's like, that's not my thing.
And you know what? And the thing is, I love to tell people to try stuff. Like after David died, I thought I truly believed that I was going to be working with widows.
Yeah, you did tell me.
Because that was where I was, and then it was like into it, and I was like, this is not, no, there's something missing here. This is not good. I wasn't finding the people that felt like I did. That, okay, now is the time to be happy. Let's go on, you know, but whatever we wanted to call that, it just wasn't the right demographic for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when you first got into that, said, okay, I'm going to be the, you know, like the widow coach or whatever you want to call it. And you said all of a sudden you were like, was it a lot of women that were coming to you or you were talking to and they weren't feeling that happy? They weren't trying to get to that side anymore? Yeah,
they hadn't made that transition. And so I wasn't attracted. So then when I started to attract the ones that were ready, they didn't want to be labeled as a widow anymore. They wanted to be, they were growing.
Yes.
So then I found I was starting to talk about mindset. Like we've talked about mindset, going and having a shift and going into mind flow. That's what they wanted to hear about. They did, you know, and for me, it was the day that I changed my, I'm going to tell, the day I changed my status on Facebook from widow to single. And that was the shift for me.
That's a shift.
That was a shift because now I went more into the personal development of who do you want to be outside of the label.
Yes.
Which is where I came from. Here was me still in the mindset that I needed a label. Barbara, no. Get out of the labels. Find what you're passionate about. What do you want to do? And then you came along, and here we are.
I just came along.
You just came along and said, let's create a thing on how to be a show on being happy.
I just, well, it's funny because time to shine, because I'm always talking about shining your diamond, and you're always talking about happiness is you want to be the norm and not the abnormal. And we just came together, and then it just came, you know, time to shine.
Yeah, and that was from Jenny Erickson, one of our guests.
And I always want to thank her for that because see, this again, when two people have an idea, you never know when things are going to start forming into something else, and somebody brings in another idea to you.
Yeah,
you have to be open for that because a lot of times if you're not open, you might miss. Right, you might miss it. So I'm so glad our show evolved to this. I'm so glad I said yes and didn't pull back.
and that's when when you stopped doing that, that's when we became the BBs.
Yep, we're the BBs.
We're the BBs.
Yes, I love it. Love it. Love it.
So yeah, it just shows you that there is synchronicity in the world.
Yes,
and that all we have to do is be open to it.
Yes.
And that's where, so that was the impetus of the St. Nicholas, because he was the one that would give people gifts.
Yeah.
Well, we have to give ourselves a gift.
Yeah. And first of all, we got to preach the gift we have in us, like you said. Yeah. We all have that special gift. That's why I tell people that's your uniqueness. That's what makes you unique in a wonderful way, not in a bad way. Some people hear unique and they be like, I don't want to be, what you mean? I'm saying, no, that is a good thing.
That's a good
thing. Because first of all, you don't want to be, I don't want to be like anybody else. You be you. And that's what your gift you give to the world.
That's why we have so many things that are just us, like our ears. Nobody else has ears like you do. Nobody else has fingerprints. They're absolutely unique to you.
Yes. That means how important you are.
That's how important you are.
Yeah. Well, going to important, we have an important lady that's going to be coming on in a matter of seconds here. Barbara, can you just give a little introduction to this wonderful queen?
We met I would think we met either Facebook or LinkedIn, and just had a great conversation. And we were talking about how we have had to sometimes reinvent our lives. And then, but Chatham, she up and moved to a foreign country. The thing is, she'll tell a little bit of how she got there. But the thing is, in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, I have met 3 other women that have done that. One moved to Panama, one moved to Thailand, and one moved to where was it? I think another one that went to Mexico. Why not? Spread your wings.
Why do you have to feel like you have to be confined in the US or wherever? I mean, we're global. We
are global.
In the world.
You do business anywhere.
Yes.
You can have clients anywhere. The power, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you're good to go.
That's what I'm saying. Wi-Fi and a laptop or a phone. Even if you don't have a phone, you're good.
Yes. I do Zoom on my phone.
Sometimes that's what I have to do, especially when my other stuff goes down or whatever happens. So it's like, I'm not gonna let that stop me.
No, exactly. Sitting in my car, and I'll be honest, 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in Panera Bread.
And you were doing what you needed to do. I love it. I love it. You could be anywhere. So what we always say, Martin, there's no excuse. There's
no excuse. Right. Find the thing that you like to do and then just go out and do it and don't care what anybody else says.
I don't care. So we're going to bring this wonderful queen on and have a conversation with her and get to know her a little bit better, because she gives a lot. Her uniqueness is great. So but we got to make our sponsors a little happy. Yeah. We're going to do that for a minute, then we're going to bring her on. Here we go.
Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here. Hello.
Hi, Queen.
Hey, Queens. How are you all?
Yes. Doing so well. I have to say, it was so great to have you on the personality, the perspectives. I mean, it is so cool when we get together with like-minded women and just talk about things that women should be talking about. Mm-hmm. That we don't shy away from, being Thanksgiving, being thankful, being aware of what we're doing in our lives.
So you were sitting there talking about being aware of what we're doing in our lives. Shatan, can you tell us what you do, lady? Because you do a lot of nice things.
Oh my gosh, and it's such a pleasure. It's so good to see you guys. I haven't seen you since the panel, so it's good to see you, Queens. Hey. So I am a relationship and transformational life coach, and I work with women that are professional women that are over 30. That are ready to break the cycle of attracting unhealthy and toxic relationships in their life. I am a hopeless romantic. And I believe that all women should be able to experience a healthy, loving relationship that they desire and they deserve. So, with my coaching, I get them on the track so that they can become the one to attract the one. So,
I'm going to attract the one. That's like a saying for you, right? For your business.
Yes, that's my tagline.
That's your tagline. Yes,
that's my tagline.
That's nice.
And it's so true. And I love that you say that you're becoming the one.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we talked about a little bit this morning. That's in using your gift, your talent, your whatever you want to call it, your inspiration to become who you are supposed to be, not somebody else's label of who you're supposed to be.
Yep.
And what I like is what you said about, that you deserve the best. And I know I was in that world where I thought I was just taking less. So that's why I love what you do, Queen, because all women need to know that they deserve the best.
Yes.
And they have to believe it themselves.
Yes.
Right. So, and that's what I feel like that's what you do with talking about relationships. And then you won't get into those crazy ones. I mean, if you start learning to love you.
Right. And that's the point, though. The hardest thing is it's good for us to have confidence. It's good for us to have self-esteem, but it's bad for us to be in denial. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of the clients are in denial, and they don't think that they're a part of the problem, and it's not necessarily a problem. But one of the things that they're not understanding is if you don't give that love to yourself, if you're not putting that into yourself first, then you can't expect somebody else to put that in you. That is just putting way too much pressure on a partner, expecting that partner to make you happy, to give you that happiness, to fill you up. You have to have that in you first. If you don't have it in you first, then nobody else can give that to you, so that's the biggest one, taking them out of denial into awareness, into acceptance, and then, finally into healing. That denial is a big one. It's a big one.
Like I've had people say to me, because we kind of talk about the same thing, we all three of us do, because that's where it starts. And it's like, what do you mean I'm responsible? I didn't choose this. Hate to tell you this, but way back when, you chose the decisions that you made. And then for me, once it was like, I read a book called The Traveler's Journey. And once I made the decision that, okay, yeah, Barbara, you really are responsible for your life. Like I look back on my first marriage and go, yeah, Barb, yeah, some of that was you. It takes two.
And you don't want to admit it, but it does take two.
It takes two. But then I think one of the biggest things, and maybe Shaitan, you might agree with this, I think we have to forgive ourselves for that.
Yes, we do have to forgive ourselves for that. And we have to have the ability to be able to reframe.
Right.
Part of the healing, in my program is teaching them how to reframe. Like I am a twice survivor, domestic abuse survivor, right? So I carried that victim mentality around for a long time. And I kept attracting the craziest men in my life. Like it was like, why do I keep attracting this type of man? Do I have a magnet on my back? Like what is going on? But I had to learn how to go in and reframe my thoughts. Because once I stopped saying, do I have a magnet on my back? The magnet came off. Once I started, reframing from the victim mentality. And that was hard, being a domestic abuse survivor, you go through a lot, you know what I mean? And so for that was powerful when I went through my healing with my coaches and my energy healers and that whole thing, to get to a point to be able to forgive them on top of forgiving myself. That was hard. That was really hard. Yes, that took a lot of work to be able to forgive them and to forgive myself. So yeah, forgiveness is key, but you have to be able to forgive all parties involved. It's not just forgiving yourself. You have to forgive everybody involved, and that's hard. Yeah.
I like how you said that, because I know when I talk, because I'm going through a divorce right now, and when I talk to friends or family, they say, Barbara, you don't, all the stuff that your husband did and all the things that you went through, you still talk about him. You don't like talk down about him or talk, have a different name for him beside his name. We could go there.
I could have a different name.
I said, yeah, in my head, he has different names, but it doesn't come out that way. And they said, why doesn't you seem like, you have a right? They always say, you have a right to be upset. You have a right to be mad. You have a right of all the things. Mm-hmm. And I said, but what's that going to do for me? And what's that really going to do for him?
Right.
So I had to learn, like you said, it took work to get to that point. It's not like the first day I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be talking now. It's like, no, it took that time to say, you know what? No, I have to love me before I go to the hatred part of hating him. So, yeah.
I always go back to the old saying that's that, not forgiving somebody is like you drinking poison and expecting them to die.
Yeah.
I love that.
But you're drinking it.
But you're
right.
Well, you're taking it in that you have this, how could he have done that? And you're so upset. And you're just, and it's like, it's not, chances are he doesn't even know you're feeling that way.
He doesn't care either sometimes.
Or doesn't care.
It's like they moved on or whatever.
They've already moved on.
Yeah. And the majority of them do. And when you're going through that, you don't understand that. You're still holding on to all of this. And they've moved on with their life like, okay, well, that's that. And you sitting back, with all this trauma, emotional trauma and, victim mentality and, feeling sorry for yourself and, everything under the sun. And they've gone on about their business like, okay.
And now they're introducing you to their new wife.
Oh, Barbara. Not the new wife, Barbara. Not the new wife.
Especially if you have children.
Good.
But that was very good.
And then you got something else to get upset about. See, now you got to add on to what you're upset about, and now the new wife part, you got to be upset about that too. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Well, in my case, I was glad that they moved on. Okay, bye. See ya.
Exactly. It's all in how you think about it.
Exactly.
There's only two sides.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You can either be upset about it or you can be, hey, you know what? I'm glad that they're gone.
Yeah.
But that's the choice. And it's I think for me, it's when somebody becomes aware that they do have that choice.
Mm-hmm.
That is when they're ready to start healing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it starts.
Until they get to that realization, whatever they call it. Everybody calls it something different. For me, I call it the mind shift. Until they get to that mind shift, their mind is still set in their past.
Yeah.
What's gonna shift? Well, now you can go into mind flow.
Wow,
and that's your ease and flow, and you're going to be happy. And it doesn't happen overnight, but the shift can happen in a second.
Yeah, the shift can. Yeah.
And then you take that one small step towards your future.
Yeah.
I call it, mine is called the light bulb moment.
Exactly.
Ding, that light bulb moment, Yeah. That's what I call it.
I like this skipping a light bulb moment. I like that. So now every time something happens, I want to think of a little light bulb over my head.
Exactly. The bright light, that's what we're about, right? We're about the light, helping others, serving others, that whole thing. So when I'm able to give my client that, you guys were talking about gifts, we all have them, even in our hurt state, even in our victim mentality state, even, before we're healed, the gifts are there. They don't go anywhere, right?
Right.
And so when my clients have those, you know, when they get to that point and they have that life, I'm like, oh, another one, like, you know, hallelujah, you know, like having to open up, right?
Fun when you see it, and it's like they light up.
Yes, you can see it with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
They'd be like, oh, wow. You told me. I was like, yes. And you'd be
you got it. and once they have it, they're never the same. They can't go back.
Yeah,
they might have struggles. Absolutely. I mean, it's not an easy road. But they have that, oh yeah. Okay, let me go back to see, how was I feeling before? Yeah, I didn't like that. Okay, so but how am I feeling now? Well, I'm feeling better. Good. Let's keep going this way.
Exactly. And you know, another thing that, you know, I've had to really start to reiterate this, you know, with my clients and just in general, that when we heal, yes, we're healing, but healing is an ongoing journey. It is an ongoing journey. You know, the healing, the trauma, you know, is good. You know, it finally comes up and out. But then you got the triggers, and then you got the projections, and then you got the judgment, and then you got to figure out, oh, okay, why am I doing all of that? You know, what's coming up for me? What needs to come up for me? And so I do Facebook Lives in my private Facebook group every week. I do Facebook Lives. And I'm honest with them, you know, when I'm going through stuff, you know, like last week, I don't know what the heck was going on in the planets, but I was so emotional and I just had all kind of stuff coming up. And I've been on my healing journey for over 20 years. Okay. So, you know, when something come up for me, it's like, oh my gosh, I got something coming up, you know? So when I talk to them, and I always tell them, so you guys know I'm geeking out, like I'm geeking out because I have stuff to clear up. I'm so excited. I get to go in and I get to see what's going on. You know, it geeks me out because I'm like, you know, thinking I'm at a place where, oh, I'm healed. I'm good, you know? But then when that moment happens, it's like, I get to go inside and see what's going on. How exciting is that? I'm so excited about that. That means growth. That means I'm up leveling. That means, you know, something is happening, you know? So I call it my geeking out moment. And I love to geek out. And even though I'm, you know, in my healed state, I still get to heal some more.
Right.
Well, the nice thing about that, Queen, is that when you do that in your private group, you're showing the connection. You say, hey, I'm connected to you. See, I'm geeking out right now. And you might be geeking out. You have your geek out moments. Right. So right there, that would, if I see that, I'd be like, thank you, Queen, for doing that, because now I don't feel alone.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't feel alone because I thought I was the only, you know how we all think, oh, I'm the only one going through all this, whatever. And as soon as somebody that you look up to is saying, look, I'm having some days too, you'd be like,
I'm not by myself. Thank goodness.
I'm not on this boat rowing by myself.
Right.
So, yeah, I know. What is it? A couple of weeks ago, I came on, and it had been one of those mornings where I just kind of woke up. I was like, "Ooh, this is you know." And I came on, and I said, "Okay, Barb, it's a good thing that I'm on this show today because I would have been sitting at home having a pity party."
I told Barbara, so that pity party came, the invitation came, and we need to get rid of that.
Keep that moving, right?
Because we were doing the show, and it was like, all right, fine. But you know what the thing is? Don't you think that sometimes people don't want to admit they're having a pity party?
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, because we grow up, you know. Everything is okay, you know. Just put on your big girl panties, put on your drawers or whatever, and you keep it moving. You know, no time for parties. You know, the song "It's My Party." If I can cry if I want to. I always love that song. Let me cry. You know, let me draw outside the lines. You know, that's my biggest one. Who told us we had to color inside the lines, and why do we have to color inside the lines? I want to color outside the lines. I don't want to color inside the lines. You know what I'm saying? Right. We have so much programming, you know, so it really goes back to that, Barbara, you know.
Yeah. We do got the programming. I mean, like you said, you told us. I mean, I could start. I know where I could start all the people that were like, you do this, you do that. You're not doing this right. You got this. You need to go get over there, Bart. I'm like, dang, who? Everybody's constructing me where to go except me.
Right. Exactly. When do I get in there? What do I do? But by that point, it's like you can't even trust yourself to direct yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like you start to question everything you do, everything you think, everything you say, right? Even my move here, I felt it. You know, like I knew it was something I was supposed to do, but everybody else around me was looking at me like, have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? You are not going to another country by yourself. You know, my daughters, my grandkids, you know, my significant other at that time. They all looked at me like I was crazy, but I'm like, I am coloring outside the lines. I'm not listening to you all. I have a calling. I'm going to follow that calling. Playa del Carmen, Mexico, here I come. Okay. I mean, and it was scary, you know, when you have people in your ear like that, you know, when you're certain this is something that you're supposed to do, but then you have people in your ear like that, you know, all that programming come back in like, well, maybe they're right. You know, I was told to do this. I was told to do that. You know, Shatan, you're a young lady by yourself, you know, just all these doubts and just everything. All the way up to the door to the airport, you know, when my ex was dropping me off, he was still in my ear, you know, still, you know, I'm like, I am literally about to get on the plane and you are still telling me that this is not something that I should be doing. I am doing this, you know? So yeah.
I was going to say, good for you, Queen. To say you stood your ground. You said, you know what, this is something that I need to do. You know, you're not in that same boat with me, but this is what I need to do. Because a lot of some people would say, okay, well, maybe you know, sometimes we go there. Well, all of them saying the same thing. Maybe I should just, you know,
right. And the thing is that this does not have to be forever. The decision that you make today, it can be, and then, you know, 2 years from now, it might change.
Well, my direction was for 1 year. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens
for a year.
Yeah, because you might move to Italy.
I got to move to Italy, Argentina, somewhere. Okay, I don't know what my next destination is. I'm ready though. Okay.
You don't have to be back in the United States.
You know, one of the things that Shatana, I mean, I'm so proud of her that she's really learning how to speak Spanish. But the best way to learn how to speak a language is to go to a country where they don't speak English.
Yeah, because it's like you're forced.
Because you are forced into it. So for whatever reason, years from now, it is going to come back to be. It's like, what would have happened if I had not gone to Mexico and learned how to speak Spanish?
Or not gone at all.
Or not gone at all. What blessings for myself and for others would have been missed because I didn't answer this calling.
Yes, Barbara.
It's like Barb with you. We talked about it before of you saying that you wanted to withdraw from this show, and then now you're so glad you didn't.
She always brings it up.
She said it crossed her mind. It crossed her mind.
It did. It was really a big cross my mind. I was kind of easing. I even told Barbara at the end, I said, I was going to ease on out and just let you, because I told her this is her show. I said, this is your show. So I was like, okay, let me ease back, keep easing back, not show up. And then she just be on there. And Barbara was like, no, she ain't going for that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And then I fell in love. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not easing anymore. This is good.
Yeah.
I like this.
She's now I'm stuck with her forever, which is can you imagine we're going to be 80 years old?
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right. Claim it, Barbara.
And have you on the show. You're going to be coming on.
And you'll be coming on the show, you know, fluent in Spanish and da 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 da.
We'll be like, we're still dancing. We're still dancing.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. You're never age is a number on a calendar.
It is. It is.
It's a line on a piece of paper.
I just look at it as the second half of my new beginning. You know,
I love that.
I'm gonna
take that. The second half of my new beginning.
Yes. Yes. I am just starting. I am this is the beginning for me. I have work to do. Okay. I have women to help, and I have women to heal, and I have work to do. I'm a beacon of light, right? I have to.
And that's like with me, it's like, make the rest of life the best of life.
Oh, I love that.
Write all this stuff down. Wait a minute.
Look at Barbara over there taking notes. She was like, wait a minute, slow down. Let me make sure I get the notes. Let me make sure.
And
what was the other one? Make
the rest of life the best of life.
Yes, I love that.
Because when you can live in that, you are going to attract so many people who also want that.
Yes.
See, that goes right back to what the Queen was saying. There is the who you're attracting.
Who are you?
Become
the right people. Yeah.
You're going to attract the right people. Like I can remember that, professional women, did you know that professional women do not wear bright red lipstick?
I did not know that. I was in corporate for 30 years. I never paid that any attention.
Me too. Me either.
I mean, I don't wear red personally anyway, but I never paid it any attention though.
But that was what I was brought up under. Well, no, you can't do that. You can't wear bright red lipstick on And now it's like, you know what? People are going to love me because of. And now you wouldn't believe how many people say, "Oh, Barbara, I love that bright red lipstick and your pink glasses."
You colored outside the lines.
Thank you. It's coloring outside the lines. You know what? It's coloring outside of someone else's lines. I think that is what the difference is. Is if you're coloring outside of someone else's definition of you.
Now that's an add-on. I think she froze. She'll come back though.
She'll be back.
Good, Barbara. I like that. You're coloring out of somebody else's
to the next level.
Yeah, because they put you somewhere. You're like, nope, I'm out of that.
I'm out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, lady,
unplugging. I was,
and we're shining.
That's exactly it. We're shining.
We are shining.
We're just, getting past other people's.
I didn't hear anything.
She going in and out. I think the connection is
The connection is. Well, we lost it.
Oops. Oh no. Let's see. She came back. Is she back?
There we go.
There you are. You're back.
There we go. Yeah, it went. Yeah, we know. Here's the key.
We love technology when it works, and we love technology when it doesn't.
And the technology guys, I'd be like, I don't want to say too much because they be like, whoop. So I don't want that. But lady, with timing here, wow, time to shine. Well, we shined, lady. We just love you being on the show today. And you are always welcome. Always welcome back. Always welcome back. I think
we'll see you next month on the panel. That'll be fun.
Thank you. Yes, I will be on the panel. I was looking forward to that. That was so much fun last month. So I definitely can't wait to get, back on the panel again. I had a good time with that.
We're going to have a lot of more fun with each other on the panel. So I'm so glad that you're a part of it. Now, just to let everybody know, in order to reach this wonderful queen, I'm scrolling down below. Please reach out to her website. Reach out to her. You see how awesome she is. I mean, I've learned a lot. I'm between her and the other Barbara. I'm taking notes as we're on the show. I said, you are teaching me.
Love when you take notes.
Yes. So we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Boy, Christmas is coming around the corner.
Can you believe? Yes. A couple more weeks and it'll be Christmas.
Oh my God. And it'll be 2000.
Yes. Happy holidays to you guys too.
Yeah, you too, Queen. So we'll see you next Tuesday. And always, like we say, remember, happiness make it the norm and not the abnorm.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Be happy.
Be happy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.